Hi guys, the date is the 22nd of June, 2026, and a few days ago I went on my first successful date where I had a great time and the person was really awesome. And unlike other dates where I had a great time and the person was really awesome, this one I was able to clearly set my intentions and find someone who seemed like they would be a really good fit for me personally. Because even though I went on other dates with other girls and they were cool people, I don't think they kind of fit with me, if you know what I mean. And so I just scheduled the second date, and I have never actually been on a second date before. I've never made it to the second date. And so my issue is with the second date is there's so much more pressure, because now this actually has potential. So I'm now putting even more pressure on myself to make the second date go as well as the first one did, which I kind of want to talk a little bit about how to take the pressure off beforehand so you don't get in that cycle where you're like, oh, I need to make this go well, or this needs to go well, so you're all tense up so you don't actually enjoy it, so it doesn't actually go well. So the first thing I'd say with relieving the pressure is stay busy. Do something up till the point where you have to leave. Just always be doing something, and so you don't get in your own head about it. And another thing I like to do is I'll schedule all my work. It sounds like a bad idea, but I schedule all my work for it to be the hardest on the day that I have the date. So I will spend the entire day not even thinking at all, just working all day. And so when it gets to that point, I won't have overthought it. And another thing is enjoy, set yourself up to enjoy the date. So the day of the first date, I didn't eat as much so that the food, when we went out to eat, it tasted much better than it usually would if I had eaten how I normally do, because I hadn't eaten that much, which made me have a better time and made me be happier in the moment. And I think it's about having a good time and sharing that moment with another person. And then all the relationship stuff and learning how to make a move, all of that comes along with that. So I think my first few dates, it took me a while to learn how to have a good time on a date and just enjoy it. And then I met someone that I really got along with well, and that kind of matched up with me, especially in the fact that when I kissed her on the first date, which was really forward, but I really liked her, she kind of just straight up asked me if that was my first time, because it wasn't, but it was one of my first times. And she kind of just joked it off, even though it was really bad. And then it kind of became a moment, and it was really nice, where I would take something like that and I would be really insecure about that, or I don't know if insecure is the right word, but I would kind of overthink it. I would ruminate on it. She got rid of that whole thing by just pointing it out and making it a moment that turning into something fun and good. Whereas I think um, I need someone very in the external world. I need someone who talks and doesn't spend too much time in their head, because I spend enough time in my head for both people. Like if they are spending time in their head, then I'll start like thinking they're thinking about me or this or that. But if they're always in the external world, either talking or doing something, then it really pairs up with me because it kind of pulls me into the external world too, I guess. I don't really know how to perfectly explain it, but yeah. And then, of course, I'm waiting for the second date to come up, and the pressure is building on again. This, like, I can't mess this up, or this has so much potential. What if I get in my head beforehand and then it pulls me out of the present moment so I can't actually enjoy the date, which is the whole point of like going to enjoy the date, enjoy it with someone and build a relationship with them if they match up with you and if you feel that connection and chemistry, which I really felt on the first date. And I think being in the present moment and just enjoying it opened the space up for me to enjoy it and for that connection to happen and that chemistry to happen. But if I get in my head, it means I won't be in the present moment. I won't be with this person. I'll be somewhere in the past or the future, ruminating on some, I need this to go well. And then it'll snowball, it's not going well, oh no. But two things I'm relying on to pull me out of that. So first is staying busy and enjoying the actual afternoon, because we plan to go see a movie that I'm actually really excited to see. So I'm just generally excited for the afternoon. I'm going to avoid high dopamine activities at least 2 days beforehand, just because, or not like super avoid, but like I'm not going to watch a movie right before the date or anything, because then I won't enjoy the movie as much. And yeah. And then I'm just going to go and enjoy it. I planned it in a way that, I'm going to pick her up in my car where I'm a bit more comfortable, because I can get really nervous if I'm going into an environment that I don't know as much. We're going to a movie theater I've been 100 times, and so I'm in a comfortable environment. I'm going to be in a mood or in a kind of headspace where I can enjoy the date, and then also beforehand not putting the pressure on myself by getting in my own head. I'm going to avoid things like listening to stimulating music, where I talked about what people call maladaptive daydreaming, where I get in my own head. And speaking of that video where I said my mind is, I'm living my life in my head, I saw a really funny comment saying, when I go to the maladaptive daydreaming competition and this guy shows up, which I found like that was like one of the reasons I make these videos, is because I love the kind of the kind of community, because I'm similar to you guys. We're like similar humor and similar issues, and I love the kind of connection and seeing people talk in the comments and then replying to each other. That's just like, that's what it's all about. And I'm glad that talking about my struggles has like brought it to light for some other people. But on the note of avoiding maladaptive daydreaming, getting in my own head, not listening to stimulating music, not doing super stressful stuff, staying productive, so just doing something, but also not putting pressure on myself. So there's two things that keeps the pressure off of me. It's staying productive and remembering that there's no pressure. I don't really have to do anything. I can just staying in the mindset of I can just enjoy life. I can just enjoy being. I can just enjoy the present moment, and also avoiding being in my head, which sometimes I can do that radically, which is like going to the beach and smoking a pack of cigarettes, where it's like I'm embodying the fact that nothing matters other than the present moment, which is a very unhealthy way to do that, and I would not suggest it. But the other way is just reminding yourself that it doesn't matter. And if you have a responsibility to do something, like that night I had a responsibility to go to night class, I just skipped it, and it made me feel so much better. I'm not saying skip out on responsibilities you have to do, but give yourself a break when you need it, to remind yourself that nothing matters as much as you think it does. It's all in your head, and you can just enjoy life. And then once you're in that kind of mindset, you're like, I can just enjoy life. I'm not going to go dopamine max, because of course if I shoot my dopamine up, it's going to fall back down, which is not going to be as fun. I'd say you can only dopamine max if you're going to sleep before the next day, because sleeping kind of will reset it a little bit. But you gotta be careful with all that stuff. But I would say avoid dopamine maxing when you're trying to like not care as much or put as much pressure on yourself. Try to go into the mindset of nothing, I could dopamine max. That'll just cause problems in the future, but I'm bored, so maybe why not do something productive? I don't have to. It doesn't really matter that much, but it's something to do. And that way you can stay out of your head, do something productive while not doing something too damaging like smoking a pack of cigarettes. I mean, sometimes when I get really in my head, I do need something to pull me out of that, but I'm trying to shape my environment so I do not end up in that position, because it really impacts my health. And yeah. So I'm really glad to be making this video. I'm 18 years old. I'm turning 19 in a few months. I was always feeling bad about myself for not dating. And then a month ago, I just went for it, got phone numbers, went on a few dates. And, even though I'm already 18 years old and only just made it to my first, second date, I got to look at the progress, 1 month from only being on like 1 or 2 previous dates to going and getting a bunch of phone numbers, learning how to talk to people and be myself, then going on dates and meeting someone. I also want to point out that this person, I met someone who I feel like I really have chemistry with, and I really like them as a person. And I also developed standards, because I never met someone that I actually matched up with. So I never had any standards until now. I know what it's like to match up with someone. So now I know more of what I'm looking for, which, maybe I've already found it, but I'm not going to put the pressure on of saying like this could be a lifelong relationship. I'm just going to take it as it is and just go with the next step, which is going on the second date, which I'm really looking forward to. And yeah, so great progress, really happy about it. And yeah, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.